What's up, everybody? I'm Noah coming at you with another one. Happy long Easter for those who were celebrating. Um, Time to lose some weight, right? If you're European back, you know the calories that I've just ingested over the weekend. Anyway, moving forward, we're having a look at Bombardier, Bbd.B, and it looks like we're very close to the end of this run, and we're just showing signs of a possible topping effect. Looking at RSI and MFI, relative strength index is we're just about to pip over, and every time we did that, we came close to um, the correction or the pullback. And the money flow index seems to be higher and higher. I'm thinking we're going to round off soon. And this looked like a bit of a doji. Looks like the red candle is just starting to form as we speak. And we will be looking for support wherever the noise was, right? Wherever the argument was, ups and downs. And we've got, it looks like 83 cents roughly, which was the resistance. And that was also the resistance pretty close to here if we come down a little lower. Right about there. So like 81. We do have this wick that was resistance up here, but I'm going to stick with the body of the candles. And it looks like this could be our future support line. If we hit this wick and then continue on, looking at the 1618 might be the turn in the future. And then maybe a longer consolidation will happen. But, oh, we got in. When did we get in? Looking on the spreadsheet. So May 21st last year, around 48.5 cents and 43 cents. Not a lot. I only bought about 1,000 shares. And now we just pipped over the $1 mark. So that is a psychological barrier, and we've got to gain a bit of steam before we try and challenge that to the upside. Looking at the weekly, nice little run, and we're testing the weekly support, which was the previous close right there, right? On the monthly, same thing. And we can see that support is right about there. So I wonder if we're going to stay above that, maybe do some sideways movement for the month, hopefully. But right now we're right at a crucial point where we've got to gain steam off of it if we want to continue this streak that we're on. The doji kind of says the argument is right there, so we have to break that to continue, and we're hoping that we don't go below that, right? So a little bit of sideways action before we continue, and that wick is roughly the resistance point here, right? So a potential bounce. Maybe we'll keep that line there because we almost tested it. So odds are maybe a candle this week is going to test it, and then we'll wait and see if we continue or if we actually come back down to, what is that, 82, 84, around there. I think if we come down there, we'd have a higher chance of a continuation up. On lower time frames, I mean, we are close to the, what is that, the 350 times 2. So we've got a bit of noise that's happening there. And on the 1 hour, the 1 hour is interesting because the 1618 showed resistance every time, and it was a turn in time. We are approaching it, but we're not quite there. It'd be interesting if we actually saw the bounce and then the run up to here, and then it finally gives up the ghost and starts the consolidation period. So we have found the 50 as support. So if this does run up, odds are we're going to test that 50 later on um, for when we continue. Now, let me go auto. This is on log scale. Just looking at the amount of time that we spent above. So RSI came through, did a bounce. This is the money flow number. This is the RSI that everybody normally watches. And then when we broke down right about here, that was an exit. And then we came down, started looking at lower EMAs for support, right? So just show you what I'm talking about. Technically, the exit might have been here. And you can see sideways, not gaining anything, and then it started to break down right there. I would say that it was right about there. Lost it a little, but then it broke down again. So we're not really there. If we see a lot of sideways action and then a continuation, that might be the breakdown. So I think we're close. We're starting to show echoes of what happened in the past. This came down, we test the 20, right? Came up. If we find resistance, we'll come down and we'll test the 50, and then we'll wait and see if we break down and come on down to the 360 or 350, sorry, which is where we found support. What else? Can't really see much of anything else. 1, 2, 3. Not sure if we're going to see 5 on this run. Since we've broken above, technically that is above, right at the top. There's the bounce, and then technically, where are we? Bounce and then up. That's very close to the top. I'm on the fence about this one because this was below, so I want to say that we're going to come back down and hopefully bounce again, and this will be the final run for a while, and then it'll be a long term hold probably, or rest. And I'm looking at money flow, how we kind of came down and then up. It was a little more muted here because it ran. And here we came down and then up. I think we're close to a top. And that is saying that top right there. So now we're entering a triangle pattern. Let me turn off the indicators. Let's go full screen. And we're basically just, where are we here? Looking right at it. There we go. Go bars. A little lower. Splitting hairs, you know me. Now this kind of is doing this, but I think we're gonna see like some testing of a support level. So I think it'll be a little bit lower. We'll compress this a bit. And we're waiting to see where the bounce is so that we can triangulate the bottom part. But I think right now we'll just do a price level, which was this guy right here. In fact, I wonder if it would be better to do the price level like so. and then see if we continue down and test. If not, I mean, it'll be up a little higher, like so. Maybe we'll get a flag like that. But right now we are pulling back and we're going to be testing to see where the next bounce is going to be. It could be a lower low, technically, as we make our way down to this support line here. So I think that's what's going to happen, and just lining up these bars with this guy right here, and it makes me want to think that we're going to come down a little lower, but we don't have this pattern figured out yet. Oh, let's do a game box, shall we? Look at that, right on the spaz point. So let's just do one line and we'll be in there within an order of magnitude, I guess. And now we're starting to see this like so. And if we bring this guy out, I wonder if that's going to be our triangle right there. We do have a range of expansion, so as this thing breaks down, I think it might be following that, and we'll wait and see if we see a possible bounce here. Like so. What else? Uh, can't quite. I'm just trying to see if I can find an angle that encapsulates and creates that triangle, and it's a bit messy for me right now. I wonder. Ooh, that looks pretty good. It's not exact, but you can kind of see how this might be. Well, would be the normal line that we draw, right? Okay, so delete that. So this would be the normal trend line that we're looking at. It will likely break down, and then we may see another trend line here forming. Let's try the GAN fan and see if we can mathematically predict something squaring off the top. Oh, that's a little off. These could be lines of support as we move forward. And we definitely have to stay above the 1/8 here. But that could be where the consolidation is going to be. Whoop. Right about there. Okay. That's what I'm going to be thinking is going to happen in the near future. But Bbd.B has been doing well. It's recovering well. People are dying to get out there and fly and go on vacation. Hopefully orders will come in times of crisis. I'd like to think that companies would become rather patriotic, and if Air Canada is going to get any planes, it would be in their best interest to buy local, right? Just like the Buy America phase way back in, who was it? Can't remember his name, Mr. Scatterbrain. Anyways, I think that's what we're going to see. This looks like a short-term triangle, at which point it will be a fractal of a bigger triangle, right? So we're going to come down, possibly bounce, and then come up, and then we'll test and see where our resistance is, or see if we see another continuation. So we had one pullback, two pullbacks, three pullbacks, possibly a 4 and a 5, and going back to this, we are watching that guy right there as potential resistance. And on the 4 hour? Technically, we're right there. Where's the number 2? 15 minutes. God. Number 3 is way too high. 1 hour? There you are. So we'll consider that resistance. That kind of, there's an intersection there. I'll do a vertical. I wonder if that's going to be a date to look at. So April 14th. So maybe a bounce up to April 14th. That might be the case. Let's turn off all these indicators for the thumbnail. And I think that's it. So we'll look for, I want to keep stretching this out though. Anyways, it's based on noise. So we've got this support line, we've got this resistance line. Eventually we'll probably break down and then try and find a lower support line. So maybe, I don't know, a bounce, a come up again, a bounce, and then that consolidation bull that we've all grown to love, and watching for the pullback to get in so that we go off to our next run. So that's it for Bbd.B. I think we are close to another liftoff. Trade safe.